All right, go ahead, Peter.
If I could ask you, just following up, I have some follow-ups on one quick one on that. We heard from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget today. You guys can't estimate what it'll cost. You want to see how many people take you up on it. But they estimate cancellation will eliminate about $550 billion in federal student loan debt. They say, however, we project that the overall amount of outstanding federal student loan debt will return to $1.6 trillion, its current level, within 5 years. So is the president committed to doing this again, or is this just a one-time deal?
You're asking me about a hypothetical that I don't.
Well, I guess I'm asking. Let's not be so specific. That's a hypothetical. They say this nonpartisan organization says it's just going to go back up again. So is the president okay with this just being like a temporary relief thing, and then it's okay, and taxpayers will
I mean,
pay
it is a little bit of a hypothetical. You started off asking me the question that we don't know what the number is, which we don't. We have to see what in order to for me to fully answer that question.
Does the White House believe that it will not go up again, that the federal student loan debt will not go up again, and that the ideas that the ambassador yesterday presented will stop the rising cost of college, and that debt will not continue to rise?
So look, when we talk about the rising cost of college, and I know this question, and you're talking about tuition. So look, we have taken steps on colleges raising tuition. This is something that the Department of Education, Secretary Cardona, it takes very seriously. He's been closely watching, and he's going to hold colleges accountable for raising costs without delivering additional value. So, so a couple of things those measures that we have taken, because I think this is important as you're asking me this question for Americans to hear. Reinstated an enforcement office at the Department of Education. We terminated a college accreditor that had previously followed colleges and that defrauded borrowers to get access to federal student loans, and we're rolling out new resources to help students make more informed decision on which schools will better deliver. So these are steps that he is taking. We will monitor, we will crack down on anybody who is acting in this way, that is defrauding students. That is something that you heard from Ambassador Rice herself. And then we have taken other steps, right? We have taken other steps through the American Rescue Plan to provide $40 billion for colleges and universities to support students, particularly at community colleges and minority institutions. And another thing that we've done is ask for Pell Grants to be doubled and a lot more. So we're going to try to do our best to keep those costs lower as we talk about tuition. But if we're going to do more, and we just have to see what that number looks like.
Understood. All that others litigate that. Let me move on to the topic I wanted to ask you about, which is the event that's taking place tonight. I know there's only so much you can say as it relates to politics, but just as the White House controls its schedule, how often should we expect to see the president going forward on the campaign trail, this being the sort of first formal pre-midterm event? And separately, what do you say to those candidates who don't want to campaign with him given his low approval ratings or low popularity perhaps in some states? Tim Ryan in Ohio said, we haven't asked President Biden to come, we have no expectation or no plans to ask him to campaign. Michael Bennet in Colorado wouldn't even comment on it.
So I'll say this, look, Democrats, as we know, has a lot to talk about. They have delivered for the American people, and especially as we've seen the last couple of weeks. Again, the Inflation Reduction Act. You think about the burn pits that's going to expand services for veterans who have put their lives on the line for our nation, which is incredibly important. You think about the CHIPS Act. We just talked about what an executive order that the president signed to really make sure that gets implemented in a responsible way, and also the CHIPS.gov went live. We have a list of things. Let's not forget the bipartisan infrastructure law, all historic pieces of legislation that we are going to go out there and make sure that the American people are aware. We put out a memo, as you all know, a couple weeks ago talking about that particular specific thing. I can't get into politics from here, as you know very well,
but
Peter.
It's not politics.
Well, no, you asked me. You
control his schedule.
But you asked me. But you specifically asked me how much is he going to get out there to campaign. I can't.
But the White House does control his schedule.
Wait. I'm about to answer. I'm just saying that with a preface to that. I I need to be careful on what I say. Look, the president loves to go out there and meet with the American people. He wants to be out there and travel as much as possible. He has something that he wants to say and deliver and let the American people know that we have done, right? And so, yeah, will you see the president out there? Yes, you will see the president travel. That is something he wants to do. That is something we all want to see him do as well, get out there. I cannot talk specific about how that's about the campaign. I cannot do that from here.
But to those candidates who don't want him to be with them?
Again, we have something, Democrats, especially the work that congressional Democrats have been.
I guess the president just accept that and says it's part of the deal?
Look, the president appreciates working with a lot of some of the members. Some of them are elected officials in their own state. He has good relationships with them. He talks to some of them really regularly. And you'll hear a lot more from the president tonight. I just want to be really careful, Peter. So as you know, we are trying to be respectful of the Hatch Act here. But again, we believe that Democrats have a lot to sell. We have done a lot to deliver for the American people. And we are happy to contrast what we have done against our congressional Republicans. And that's what you're going to hear from the president.